going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about The Flash after so many controversies, so much delay, so many writer changes, director changes. Andy Muschietti has finally graced us with The Flash in theaters, a movie that I thought was literally never going to see the light of day. But before I get into my thoughts on The Flash, I want to know, if you were able to go back in time, what would you change? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's go ahead and get started with the review. In The Flash, we have Barry Allen, who uses his superpowers to go back in time to change his past, but his attempt to save his family creates a world without superheroes, forcing him to race for his life in order to save the future. I honestly did not think that we were going to see this movie hit the light of day, and I just absolutely had a fun time with this movie. We have Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, also Ben Affleck. We also have Michael Shannon coming back as General Zod, and we have the introduction of Supergirl, played by Sasha Calle. And this movie was absolutely fantastic. There were a lot of moments where I thought the emotional moments hit very well, and the humor, to my surprise, actually worked many times. There were a lot of gut busting moments that I didn't think would have me laughing as hard as they did, but the humor in this movie absolutely surprised me. I really like Andy Muschietti as a director. I really enjoyed Mama for what it was, and what he did with it, I thought was absolutely fantastic. It missed on It Chapter 2. I thought the 3 hour runtime was completely useless, and the way that story was being told was not the best. But coming into this film, I was very intrigued to see what he was going to do. Plus, we also got the news that he's going to be directing Batman the Brave and the Bold, still keeping in that WB family. So I'm very intrigued what he's going to do with that film. But with The Flash, I thought he nailed it on a lot of aspects. There were a lot of emotional moments, especially when you have the plot that we have going on here. We have Barry going back in time to save his mom, and we see the ripple effects that cause for somebody going back in time, trying to change the past so they can have a future. And I thought all those elements together worked, and it was fantastic seeing Michael Keaton come back to play Batman. I've only seen Batman and Batman Returns once last year before the Batman came out, and you just feel that moment. You feel a little bit nostalgic for Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, even though you kind of felt that in the trailers. I really loved seeing him come back. Plus, you also have his theme coming back in the film as well, and all that really does hit those nostalgic moments. You also have Sasha Calle as Supergirl, who doesn't really get a lot of screen time, but when she is on screen, she is absolutely magnetic, and I really enjoyed her as Supergirl. Not sure if they're going to be bringing her back in the rebooted DCEU, but it would be fantastic to see her come back. I really enjoyed what they were going for with her, and for the most part, I thought Ezra Miller did a really good job of playing the Flash. I thought they had a really big task with them playing both versions of Barry. You have the past Barry and the present Barry that we have now, and they pulled it off very well playing both characters, even though they are very different from each other. They did a really good job of giving those emotional moments, and at times you do feel a little bit choked up towards the end of the film, and just when the emotional gravity of the film just starts reeling you in and starts pulling you in, they did a really good job of giving us those emotions, but also playing on the feels and the way that they play against Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle. It was great seeing all those dynamics together, and that's when the movie works. However, for me, it kind of felt a little bit lackluster, just a little bit. I really like what they were going for with Michael Keaton playing this Bruce Wayne that you feel hasn't been Batman in 50 years. And so seeing that take on Batman was actually really refreshing to see, because you kind of feel where that character is in that timeline. And so that absolutely worked. But the story in this movie kind of felt all over the place. I thought there were not a lot of tonal shifts, but I thought it was trying to juggle so many things at once. It just felt a little bit hard to keep up with the movie. Some of the effects that people have an issue with, I absolutely didn't have an issue with the things that happen outside of the Speed Force. At times, when you see Barry in the Speed Force, at times you do kind of feel like the visuals could have been a little bit better. But at times when you're in the Speed Force, some of the effects actually do work, and I didn't really have a lot of issues with it. I think the only time that I had issues with the visual effects were more in the beginning than I did in the rest of the film. But take those gripes aside, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was what the DCEU or the DCEU, whatever you guys want to call it, needed. It was a shot of an adrenaline, and I actually came out really enjoying this a little bit more than I thought. But I really came out enjoying this movie for what it was going for and what the future might hold for the universe. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give The Flash an 8 out of 10. I just really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was the best DCU film in a while. After having a couple of lackluster DCU movies or comic book movies for that matter, between Ant-Man and the Wasp, Shazam 2, Black Adam, this is the first time in a long while where we have three really fun, enjoyable comic book movies in theaters. We have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Across the Spider Verse, and now The Flash. I'm really hoping that Blue Beetle is on par with these three, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But those are my thoughts on The Flash, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.